Hello. So I've got a bit of a different video here today. Yeah, I know it's been 5 months since I last uploaded anything, so any video would be different, but today I'm just gonna do completely unscripted rambling, um, about this game that has overtaken my life for 4 months now. Uh, you probably already know what it is because I probably put it in the title. It's Genshin Impact. Um, I have not done an unscripted, unedited video about anything since, probably nobody watching this video would remember this. I used to, when I was like maybe 10 years old, have this channel called Games6767. It's still up, you can still find it on YouTube. Um, and I would just upload me just playing games and talking. Um, it was kind of terrible content probably, but it's all been lost to time because I unfortunately deleted it all. But thought I would come on here today and just talk about this game. Um, I have been playing this game for about 4 months now, probably put several hundred hours into it in that time, unfortunately. And like for some people that might not be that much, but for me, I have like maybe two games on Steam that I have put over 100 hours into. So this game taking up this much of my time for so long and me not losing interest in it, that's saying a lot. Um, so obviously this game must be pretty good. Um, yeah, I do think it's pretty good. So I'm gonna talk about why. I'm gonna go through and just talk about everything that comes to mind. Um, so my first experience with this game was actually several years ago. Me and my friends, just like as a joke, downloaded it back like around when it came out in 2020, and like back then, I had no interest in a game like this. I like anything that was like tangentially anime related was like cringe to me, and like I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So it was completely as a joke that we downloaded it, and I probably deleted it after playing it for about half an hour. Like obviously not enough time to figure out if you've resonated with a game as big as this, but I also just did not want that on my computer at the time. And, you know, pretty good reason. Like, this game has a terrible reputation among people who don't play it. The fan base is well known for having a lot of, well, let's just say interesting people. Interesting people that I don't really want to be associated with, and still to this day don't, even though I've become fully addicted to this game. So, yeah, but here we are now. I've played this game a lot, as I've already said, and yeah, so I thought, what better place to start than where the game starts, here on this beach area that you would have seen in the beginning of the video. I don't remember what it's called because I have no reason to come back. It isn't in here. So yeah, uh, this is where the game's like opening cutscene where they rip off Breath of the Wild and show you, wow, look at this big beautiful world. That's where that is. So yeah, I think the way that I'm going to structure this video is just first like going through each of the five main areas of the game as they exist today, and just talking about how I feel about them and how much I like them, just basic stuff like that. Then, after that, I'll probably go a little bit more in depth into like specific game mechanics and talk about what makes this game appeal to me so much. And after that, I might talk about the characters, I might talk about the story, might talk about the music. Music is a huge part of why I like this game so much. So yeah, let's get into it. We start here in Mondstadt. Uh, I don't really have that much to say about this area. It's like the starter area. you know, it's not gonna be that interesting. Game, if you're not familiar with it, there's like 7 elements that all of the characters, are, like, resonated with, and each one of the lands in the game is, built around a specific element. This one here is built around Animo, which is like the wind element. And yeah, I don't know that they really do that much with it. And the landscapes are pretty samey. It's just a lot of grassy fields and maybe some mountains around, but it just doesn't compare to what we'll see later. And you're gonna see that. So this video might be a little bit hard to digest. I might do something like put in the description, put like some timestamps about when I talk about certain things, do something like that to make this video a little bit easier to watch. Because I imagine very few people clicking on this video are going to want to watch me ramble about this game for however long I end up rambling about this game, and I'm not used to doing this kind of content, so yeah. It might not be pretty. This is more of an experimental video. We're gonna see how it goes. But yeah, I have very little to say about this area of the game. I would say the soundtrack is the most dull out of any area. It's not bad. It's just like, this game is an absolutely incredible soundtrack, and this area just doesn't really show that. It's kind of mid. I don't know. Over here, we got the main city. Each one of the areas of the game has a city. And I would, again, you're gonna be very surprised to hear me say this, but I would say it's probably the least interesting of the cities in the game, too. It's all encased in these huge walls, which makes it feel kind of cramped and cluttered. And I'm really just not a huge fan of it. But again, you can't expect that much from the baby starting area, so let's just leave here for now and go to the next area that you see in the game. I won't walk there because that would take a long time, but yeah. Let's teleport right here. So, another thing to note, I have this game installed on a hard drive, so there are probably going to be a lot of long loading screens. I am very sorry about that, but we're going to sit here together through these loading screens. Hopefully I can think of something to say that is worth your time. Not doing too well so far, but this area is called Liyue, and it is the Geo element land, which is like rocks and stuff, you know rocks, yeah. So it's based around, I don't even know what the hell Mondstadt is supposed to be based around. Each of the lands is also based around like a culture, like a part of the world. I don't know what Mondstadt's supposed to be, probably like vaguely European, maybe German kind of deal. But yeah, Liyue is, if you couldn't tell by the name, very, very much based around Chinese culture, specifically I think like ancient dynasties, because like, China today doesn't really look like this. I'm sure there's like historical buildings that look like this, but yeah, so already much more interesting city here. I think that the architecture is pretty cool. And how it's surrounded by these huge mountains. It's very pretty. And this, when the game first released, the only 2 regions in the game were Mondstadt and Liyue, and I think if it wasn't for Liyue, I don't know why anyone would play this game, because Mondstadt is really boring and really small. Yeah, so I would say Liyue is probably, even still, even though I've only praised it so far, I think it's my second least favorite area of the game. You can see even just this game is just like very pretty, like all the time, just at random. You'll look at things and be like, damn, that's really pretty. I wish I could go somewhere that looks like this in real life. Unfortunately, I live in Florida, so there's nowhere that looks like this in Florida, but that's okay. But yeah, the sunset putting a nice glow over these huge rock formations and over the city. I would definitely recommend playing this game, even though it is on mobile. I would recommend playing it on PC if you can, because it looks so much better. Like, on mobile, it runs at like 30 FPS, and the graphics are completely toned down from what they are on PC. And even if you have a worse PC than I do, it's still gonna look better on PC. Even if you're playing it on like, as long as you've got like an integrated graphics card of like any modern variety, you should be good to play it on PC. Yeah, I could go explore around and show different places, but I don't really have that many places in mind in Liyue because, again, it is one of the less interesting areas of the game. A lot of it does look kind of samey, even though just the fact that it has, like, I would say, like, way more interesting geography. It still is mostly just, like, rock formations and grassy fields. Um, but there are cool places. Like if we look on the map, there's like areas with ruins. There's this is probably cool. I'll go over here because this is pretty different. I have to sit through another loading screen. Hope you're excited. I should really get an SSD so that this doesn't load all day, but whatever. That costs money. I don't have money. Yeah, so what was I saying? Talking about how the geography in this area is more interesting. We've got some more prominent mountains and also some really weird-looking, funky rock pillars, and like also some pretty trees. Um, yeah, big valleys. Uh, got this amber stuff on there. Here's the rock pillars I was talking about. So yeah, they call it the stone forest because um, I guess if you're creative, these look like tree trunks. Not really. Um, but yeah, uh, game's got a full day-night cycle. As do a lot of games. It's not really that interesting. I don't know why I mentioned that, but the areas look a lot different at nighttime versus daytime. Is probably what I was trying to say. So yeah, you can also go in here if you want and change the time. I'm not going to do that right now because there's not really any reason to. But yeah, that's Liyue. So next, let's go to the next area you see in the game, which is behind this massive ocean. There's a lore reason. I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers in this video. I can't guarantee that I'll avoid spoilers in this video, but I think the story is very good, and I would recommend playing it. So I'll try to keep this video as spoiler-free as I can, but if I accidentally slip something in there, I apologize. But yeah, Inazuma, this is the Electro area, and it's based off of Japanese culture, so they have a bunch of islands like they do in Japan. Um, which I would say is both a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, like, the islands feel kind of small. Like, individually, they're not that interesting, but combined, like, it feels like each island kind of has its own personality and its own geography and different types of plants and stuff like that that just gives it it's pretty fun to explore for the first time, but each island on its own isn't that interesting. This is the island you start on. I think it's called Narukami Island, if I remember correctly, yeah. and this is the main city of Inazuma. You can tell it is, again, based on more like ancient Japanese culture. Each one of these regions also has a god called an Archon, and the story follows your, let me think of how to put this without spoilers. Like, basically you are trying to meet all of the gods. I won't say why. You'll find out why. Or maybe you have found out why. Maybe you're watching this video and you have played this game. So yeah. You are going to meet all of the gods of the lands in your travels. But the Electro Archon, who rules this land, her name is, well, I mean, if you've played the game, you know that this isn't fully true, but her name is the Raiden Shogun, which is... My friend told me that that name means something silly, like the ruler of lightning or something. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. He doesn't even know Japanese. Why does he know this? Anyway. Yeah, but Shogun makes you think older Japanese government. And, yeah, that's what this is trying to imitate. And Inazuma, I would say, is the first area of the game where the soundtrack really stands out. They start incorporating some more interesting instruments. They do that a little bit in Liyue, but here you're really going to hear, like Japanese sounding drums and strings and things like that. It just adds like a really unique flair to a lot of the songs. The one that's playing now, you can hear that, even though this isn't one of the most exemplary songs in the Inazuma soundtrack. There's some... the motif in this song is used a lot in the soundtrack. Including in, like, the main boss fight theme and stuff like that, so it's cool how they do that in other areas too, where, in the soundtrack they keep a lot of the same motifs and use them across different songs. I think that that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, there's a lot more to see in Inazuma, so I guess we'll go around and look at some stuff. First, we can go to the Grand Narukami Shrine. This is where you go, for some story stuff. And it's also where you go if you want to draw a fortune slip. Let's draw a fortune slip. You go for the fortune slip. I'm gonna do that. Whoever's watching this video, you're gonna see if I'm lucky today. There we go. Getting a fortune slip. Watch this, I'm gonna get a great fortune. We already know what's gonna happen, it's so obvious. Okay. Open it up, quick! No. That was the wrong. Okay. Alright. Let's see what we're looking at for today. Oh boy. Great fortune! What did I tell you? What did I tell you? It's a great day today. I hope you're all having a great day too, if there is anybody hearing me say this. My channel is dead, so I kind of doubt it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's fun. There's a lot of like small details like that that really make you feel like immersed in the world and the culture of the different areas, and that's just something that I appreciate about this game. You can see just from looking around these pretty purple trees, and you can also probably see the fact that the island is pretty small. This is like the whole thing. But the good thing with Inazuma is you got like I don't know, 5 other islands to explore? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll do a little flyover. There's Inazuma City over there. Yeah, this is pretty blunt. Let's go to a different island. Here we got, neither of these islands are that interesting, I would say. Like, the story, the main story, um, without, again, trying not to spoil anything, kind of follows, like, a war between this island and this island. So, like, you can tell that they put a lot of effort into those two islands, but these two islands are just kind of in the middle of it all and, like, don't really feel like they matter as much. But yeah, let's take a look at Watatsumi Island, because that's a nice one. Very, very pretty landscape. And very unique. It's not really like anything I've seen in any game, really. So, even though Inazuma is the Electro land, this is more of a watery area. You can see all the floating jellyfish, and this is like the main palace kind of deal on the island. You got these huge shells. Feels like there were some, I don't know, some old, sea life maybe once dominated this land. I don't know, you'll have to find out. It's not spoilers, I don't even know if that's true, because I haven't really done that much on this island. Yeah, but it's very pretty. I was showing this to my friend the other day, he was talking about how the blue grass is stupid, and, you know, I get the plants, the point of them being green is the chlorophyll absorbs the light. Absorbs the light from the sky better if it's green, I get that. But doesn't this bluegrass look cool? You know, sometimes you just gotta ignore the scientific constraints for in the sake of the aesthetic purposes, you know? It's important. And you've got like cool fog effects going here. It's very pretty. I like it. There's also this island here. What is this one called? Sarai Island and Surumi Island. I've never been to these, really. Especially this one, Exploration Progress, 0%. Yeah, I don't know what goes on over there. So I think we'll just skip that for now. Also in the interest of not making this video 7,000 years long. And now we get to take a look at my personal favorite area in the game, far and away my favorite, Sumeru. So just like for the other regions, let's teleport in the city. So Sumeru is the Dendro area. And it's based on like a hodgepodge of like South Asian and North African cultures, maybe Middle Eastern a little bit. And this is probably a good time to bring up one of this game's biggest flaws. This game comes from China, which has a notable history of whitewashing their games, and in no region is it more apparent than Sumeru, because like Sumeru is from a part of the world where the people aren't white or Asian or something that would be, I guess, more I guess less taboo to show in China. But as I go around here, you'll see that like almost all the NPCs are white. Almost all the characters coming from this area are white. And being white myself, I tried my best to ignore it, which is not great. The people who got me into this game are black themselves, and I imagine that it's a lot harder to ignore when you are part of one of the races not being represented properly. It's sad that that's the way it is. I'm hoping and praying. The next region to be added to the game is called Notlan, and it's based on, like, I think, like, ancient Mexican cultures, and maybe a little bit of Spanish culture thrown in there, too. I'm really hoping that they don't whitewash the hell out of it again, because that would just be a shame. Yeah. But that's just something I felt like I should bring up, because it is a pretty big flaw with this game, and it is kind of sad that that's the case. Especially because a lot of the NPCs, or not a lot, but a few of the NPCs in this region, like I heard like a British accent, and it just like, I don't know. It just made me feel like I was in like colonial India or some shit, and like that's just like not the vibe that you want to be having at all. Um, so yeah, on a positive note, I did say that this is my favorite area in the game. This area has, by far, in my opinion, the best story, the best music, the best landscapes, probably the best characters. I think everything about this area is the best in the game. And I really hope they can outdo it not long. That would be exciting. Um, I would go as far as to say that this is probably the best area of any video game, other than the flaw that I mentioned previously. Is it gonna play that? Okay. I heard like the beginning of a song that I really like. It's called "Sleepless Night." Okay, this one's also really fun. Every song that plays at night here is very pretty. This one is called "Fresh Breezes of Dawn," I think. Yeah. I listen to the soundtrack a lot, which for me is very weird. I don't usually listen to game soundtracks like at all. Um, but this game soundtrack absolutely blew me away. Like, it's I don't know, it's incredibly beautiful. Like, I don't really even know how to describe it unless you listen to it yourself. Even outside, like I've shown my friends who have never touched this game, songs from the soundtrack, and they loved it as much as I did. It's very, very good. One of my friends, even their school orchestra in college, they played songs from the game soundtrack, which is pretty cool. Um, all of the regions, they hired like actual like philharmonic orchestras from different areas of the world. I think London got one part of the soundtrack. I think Shanghai. I think I don't know if it was Tokyo. It was probably Tokyo. For Inazuma. And then they went back to London for Sumeru and also for the next region, which we'll go to. But yeah, like, and you can tell like the guy who composed these songs. I think his name is Yu Peng Chen. Is definitely like an incredibly talented composer, and yeah, just such a good soundtrack. No words I could say could do it justice. Easily my favorite game soundtrack. Beating out classic soundtracks like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Risk of Rain 2, also among my favorite soundtracks, but they don't even hold a candle to this if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, love this song too. It's so pretty. Some of those songs genuinely make me feel like I'm gonna cry. Um, but yeah, so let's talk about something other than the soundtrack now that I've gushed about the soundtrack for 5 minutes straight. Probably the biggest flaw of Sumeru, as far as its like design and landscapes, is that Sumeru City is impossible to get around. I have spent so much of the story here and walked around here so many times, and I could still not tell you how to get around. Like it kind of goes like kind of follows a path that goes up. We'll just go up. It's like it's cool. It's like a cool city, but at the same time, I just wish it was easier to get around. None of the paths make any sense. This is the Academia. I'm not going to talk about them because probably anything I can say about them is a spoiler. They're important to the story. I don't want to go in there. Okay, I don't know where the back exit is, so let's go up here. Yeah, so Sumeru City, a little bit unfortunate of a design. Let's go to where my favorite character in the game lives. I'll talk about her later. She lives in there. That's where she lives. So Sumeru, being the Dendro area, half of it is a big jungle, which I think is cool. I like jungle areas. And again, talking about the soundtrack again, I was mentioning earlier that a lot of the areas in the game use, like, instruments from different parts of the world, and I don't know the names of the instruments that are used in this area, but there are a lot of them. And they, like, even outside of the orchestras that they hired to play the game soundtrack, they got people who specialize in these, more exotic instruments local to the regions represented in this game, which I think, or in this area, which I think is really cool. Yeah, so jungle is very pretty. It's maybe a little bit harder to navigate than any of the other areas that I've been to. I don't think there's any specific places to look at. The other major city in Sumeru is over here, Port Ormos. It's a little bit less interesting, but on the bright side, it's much easier to get around. And I definitely appreciate that. Vonarana is cool, but it's kind of a spoiler. We can go there anyway. I don't know. This is where I won't say anything. I don't know, but you can see the purpley sky, big plants. This was the theme I was hoping would play because it's my favorite one. It's very mystical and just kind of I don't know, it just has a nice energy to it that definitely fits the kind of dreamlike nature of this area. Very catchy melody too. I find myself humming it sometimes. Yeah. Hey, apparently I've started a quest on accident. Okay, so all that was the creatures that live in this land. You can see one of them here called Aronota. You do a lot of quests with them. I won't talk about them much again because of spoilers, but kind of weird little guys. So that is only the go to Acorn Woods too because that's kind of a different looking area. Only half of Sumeru is the jungle. The other half is entirely desert, which I'm biased towards desert areas in games, but honestly, I think they probably could have done the desert more justice. I would say that a lot of it is very empty and sparse, and I wish there was a little bit more going on. They play some really good music in here, too. I don't come to this area very much, but the music has, again, like a really mystical quality to it, and some really nice melodies, too. Yeah, big trees. Big lakes. Cool stuff. Can't lie. Yeah, the other half, like I was saying, is the desert area. I think it's called the Great Red Sand as a whole. And there's some cool stuff in here. Like, I'll teleport here, this is my favorite. I would say that even though I'm saying as a whole the desert isn't that interesting, this right here, which you're about to see, is probably, to me, like, the single most striking, like, visual, probably in the entire game. When I walked up to this for the first time, which you're about to see, I was like taken aback. This big ass pyramid with like all this sand coming up of the top. Very cool. This is also pretty integral to the story, so I won't talk about it much. But I want to come here just because it's such a striking visual for me, and I think it's a good example of just how interesting the areas can be. I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. Not used to just sitting here and talking this long. Like I said, this is my first time doing this kind of content since I was like 10, so hopefully it's at least coming out somewhat naturally. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, not really too much to see in the desert. Probably won't spend much time in here. I also really haven't explored it that much, as you can see by my very low exploration progress, so there probably is more to it than I know. Like, I mean, again, I haven't really talked about this yet, but this game is just absolutely massive. Like I said, I've probably played it for hundreds of hours at this point. Doesn't track hours, I wish it did. And I only finished the main story like maybe a week ago. That and there are, I mean, I can just show really quick all the you got all these story quests for all the different characters. Let me scroll through. Let me scroll through this. Even more of them in here. And even just looking at the list of quests that I have, there's a lot, and I have not activated most of them. So, yeah. A lot to do in this game, and I kind of want to draw a comparison on the last game that I got into anywhere near as intensely as this one was No Man's Sky, back in like June-ish, and I I was blown away by how much there was to do in that game. I mean, if you've heard of No Man's Sky, you understand what the premise is. It's like literally billions of planets, and each one of them you can explore, and you can do all kinds of stuff like building base or whatever. But like, I kind of lost interest in that game after about 65 hours, I believe. And by then I had finished like most of the quests that exist in the game, and that game has a little more depth in regards to like I said, there's stuff like base building, like buying better ships, farming. Why is this hilly trail floating? What are you doing? Okay, that's very strange. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to do in that game. And yet, I still lost interest in it in like a fifth of the time that I've already spent playing this game. Still floating. Yeah, this game has probably like 10 times as many quests as No Man's Sky does, and the world, like, because it's so much more detailed than the world of No Man's Sky, like, obviously it's going to be, because, No Man's Sky, like, billions of planets, all procedurally generated, like, they can't all be that detailed in and of themselves. Like, that would just be absurd to ask. They have a good amount of detail, given that there are so many of them, but I don't know. I feel like I prefer the more detailed single huge world over the 16 billion worlds. And the No Man's Sky developers are coming out with a new game called, I think, Light No Fire sometime soon. That's going to be like one world the size of Earth that's way more richly detailed, but still is a grand scope in the way that No Man's Sky does. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Anyway, that's that tangent about No Man's Sky. Also a very good game, I would highly recommend. I was thinking about making a review video about it at some point, but I never really got the chance, and at this point I've been out of it for so long that I probably never will. But yeah, good game, also I would recommend. Um, Another kind of striking visual of this area of the desert. I just finished a story quest about why this area is like this. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the desert as I know it. The whole reason I went on that tangent was to say that there's still so much shit in this game that I've not seen, and I'm kind of making judgments about the desert based on areas I have not seen. So, you know, I've walked through them, but I haven't explored their finer details, so I don't know. Come back later, maybe talk about it a little more. After I've played this game for 300 more hours. Yeah. So let's take a look at the last area that currently exists in the game. My friends who got me into this game, this is pretty much unanimously their favorite area. I like Sumeru more. That's just me. Fontaine, which is the land of Hydro. Um, yeah. I like it, but I don't know. I just it's based around French culture, you know. I just don't fuck with French people like that. I just don't. I'm sorry to say, might be a little biased. Uh, I still like it though. It's still cool. Hopefully it loads one day. I'm not going that far. It shouldn't take this long to load. But Fontaine, what's the name of the area if I didn't say it already? I don't remember. I would say I probably like it. I don't know. I probably shouldn't even judge it that much because again, it's the area you get to last. It's the newest area. It's probably not even fully built out yet.
And glorious sunshine.
Okay.
So, where shall we
Ayaka's
go for a
talking.
walk?
Let her talk. Yeah, so I probably shouldn't judge it that much because it's probably not even done, and also I've explored it very, very, very little. I've explored some areas of it even less than I've explored the Sumeru Desert, so yeah. But based on my impressions that I have thus far after completing the main story quests here, um, it's good. But I probably like it less than Sumeru and maybe also Inazuma. It's just, I don't know. I genuinely think I'm probably biased against the French inspiration a little bit. I just find it a little bit stuffy and I'm not a fan. Yeah, we can take a look at the city. And the same complaint I had with Mondstadt. I don't really like the fact that it's bordered by walls. It feels very claustrophobic, and it's also kind of difficult to navigate because I don't know if the map will show it, but it's like kind of split into levels, and it's hard to tell where to go. So yeah, not my favorite. The music here is pretty good. I like it. Yeah, I don't really even have that much to say about Fontaine because I just don't really care for it as much as other people do. And also I haven't explored it very much, so I probably won't. I might say as little about it as I did about Mondstadt in the beginning of the video. Let me see if there's anything worth looking at. Definitely they added for this area, which makes sense because it's the Hydro area, they added, like, underwater, like, diving gameplay. I remember seeing YouTube ads that were literally just espousing this single feature as being game-changing, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's that fun. I'm sorry. I have to bitch about Fontaine a little bit. I'm just not huge on it. But I'll take a look at the underwater gameplay. Maybe someone watching this video will see it and be like, wow, that looks so interesting. In other areas of the game, you are not able to swim underwater at all. And it's also very annoying to cross water, because swimming uses an absurd amount of your stamina. Unless you have an ability like Ayaka here does, where she can turn into ice and float across the water, and then when she runs out of stamina, she will freeze the water and stand on the frozen water, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, the underwater environments are kind of cool. Again, kind of mystical, kind of serene. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm just boring and I just don't like water levels that much in games. I know that's like the most stereotypical thing to not like. I don't know what this is. I haven't been there. So yeah, that's kind of Fontaine as I know it. There's stuff outside the water. There's mountains. There's some interesting landforms, but again, just does not hold a candle to Sumeru. And I kind of like Inazuma more too, so I'm sorry, Fontaine likers. I'm just not really there with you. I'm really hoping for better and not one. Yeah, that kind of covers all the regions of the game. So now I think I'll get more into like the nitty-gritty details about all the different gameplay mechanics and things like that that might be interested to hear about or hear my thoughts on. So let me think. What should I look at first? Um, so this game, even though I was saying it doesn't have as big of a scope as No Man's Sky does. There's a lot more gameplay elements. There are games within this game that you would never know exist if you never took the time to play it. Let's take a look at a couple of those really quick. Um, Actually, before I do that, I should probably look at there's a few, like, sub-areas, within each region. We got the Enkanomiya, underneath Watatsumi Island, which we looked at earlier. I never go here because, probably the main reason is just that my friends who got me into this game all say that it's absolutely miserable to explore. And I just kind of take their word for it. But again, you'll get to see another one of those striking visuals that I was talking about. This. It looks pretty cool, right? I like that. Um, you might be wondering, where do you go? Well, you can hang glide down onto that platform down there. Uh, yeah. Uh, don't have much to say about the Enkanomiya because I don't go there. We got the Chasm. I guess I'll go in here. Um, Chasm, I have explored mostly. I've at least gone to all of the teleport waypoints and stuff. Um, Also not very fun to explore. Like I like the idea of a big underground cave mine thing, but also like it's so easy to make it misery to explore, and they kind of did that unfortunately. But there's still all the areas are pretty different from one another, and they feel like they have different biomes in the cave. Um, I feel like the music in the Chasm is pretty underrated. It's very dramatic. You can probably hear what the song is playing now. It's like these very tense and dynamic strings and stuff. A lot of the music in this area is like that. I think it's good. Uh, let's choose one more area to look at at random. I think I'll go here. In this area, you carry on a thing called, I think it's called the Lumenstone Adjuvant or something. I don't really remember the exact name. I have it equipped right now. Use it to, like, light things. Actually, this is not the direction I want to go. I think it's cool over this way. Yeah, you can take a bit of a look at this cave gameplay. Incredible cave gameplay. Yeah, I'm going to blow up and die now. Hey, Ayaka's dead.
Much remains unfinished.
Shingsho, I would like if you didn't die. This is just a big hole. If you couldn't tell. No, I really hate Shingsho. So, let's, I don't want to fight this. I just wanted to look at this big mushroom. I don't want to fight level 83 guy. Look at this mushroom, that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave now. So, the other area, you got the fucking, Dragonspine. Now this is, talking about how the other two areas are annoying to explore. This is actual hell on earth to explore. They have a mechanic exclusive to this area which I hope they don't bring back in the cryo region when that comes out, called Sheer Cold, which you get cold if you stand away from fire for too long, and if your sheer cold meter fills up, you just start dying, and that's really fun. Um, it's not, if you can tell. Um, Again, cool concept, big snowy mountain. Looks really cool from Mondstadt. I don't like the fact that it is so close to Mondstadt because it's like significantly harder than Mondstadt. And I was remembering that when I started the game, like I wanted to come out here and I was just like immediately shut down, like because the enemies are just so much harder. And I feel like it's kind of a shame that they put it right next to the beginner area because yeah, beginners are going to think that they are going to go here next, and they really should not be going here next. But yeah, the quests in here were miserable. Sheer cold, you can see my sheer cold meter filling up on the bottom over my health bar. Miserable, horrible mechanic. Maybe I should start saying words other than miserable, but I feel like miserable really is the best one. Um, yeah, so that's that. Yeah, let's go look at some more fun, happy things now. This is where I'm going to start talking about, random gameplay things. So, here we have this thing called the Serenitea pot, and if you've ever played, Animal Crossing New Horizons, this is just that for some reason. So, you got your island, and you build shit on there, and you can invite characters that you have, to live on it. We got Tainari here, he's chill. We got your little mansion. I think little mansion is a bit of an oxymoron, I'm not sure why I said that. I don't know. I don't really do that much with this mechanic. Got Ayaka and Xiangling and Sino here. If you were wondering about which characters I like the most, these are some of them. A bit of a spoiler for later in the video where I start rambling about how much I like or hate the characters. I like these ones though. You can change the music that plays, which is cool. You collect these things called spin crystals around the world, and you can use them to play music, which is fun. Yeah, I don't do too much with this, this area. I come in and I collect my money and build things so that, eventually I can get my trust rank up and get the rewards. Big rewards, you get like 60 primo gems. Not really that much for ranking that up, but you know, it's something. And when it's time for me to pull for Nahida in 9 days, I'm gonna cherish every primo gem I have. So, yeah. What else have we got? That's kind of it for this. I don't really do that much here. I built out my island enough that I'm making a little bit of the realm money. But if you're into that, you know, it's there. Also got over here in Mondstadt in the bar thing called the Cat's Tail, they have a card game that's ripping off a Hearthstone, which I haven't played. It just looks the exact same. I've seen footage of it. It's the same game. Yeah, if you like card games, they have one for some reason. I'm probably not gonna play it because I'm really slow at it because I haven't played it much, and that would take up way too much of this already long video. But it's there. They have like rotating people who come through, and you can play That's the name of the game. Genius Invocation, TCG. You can get cards and you can play against these people. You can even play against other actual people, which is fun, I guess. I don't know anyone who plays this though, so I have not done that. Yeah, card game. Just go play Slay the Spire instead. That's a better card game. I think. Are there any other weird, random gameplay mechanics that you wouldn't expect to be in the game that are kind of ripping off of other games? And I'm not thinking of any. Uh, I think. You got gadgets, and the one I'm thinking of right now is this Omni-Ubiquity Net, which you can use to catch animals and put them in your realm, which is something. You can do that if you want. Like, I'm only acting so, dismissive of this because I don't personally do it, but I think it's cool for a game to have as much content as it can. And this game gets updates every 6 weeks, so you're never going to be hurting for things to do. So, that's nice. Personally, I spend most of my time just playing the story, and trying to grind Primogems so that I can get characters I want. This game, if you didn't know, a lot of grinding involved. You do these, like, domain things to get, stuff to make your characters better. These are artifacts. Well, I suppose it would be better if I just went into my character viewer. Disclaimer here, none of my characters are built. If any of the competitive Genshin YouTube scene happens to find this video, I'm working on it, okay? It's a lot of grinding. I've been just grinding the story, not grinding my characters to make them better. But I'm starting to do a little bit of work on that. So, you can see my artifacts are not leveled up and they are not good. This is the best one that I have. They have, stats. So you got your main stat up here. You got your substats. It's completely luck if you get a good one. Which is, I don't know, I find it fun. It's kind of fun to play the artifact lottery and try to get a good one, but, yeah. You're not looking for defense. You're not looking for, uh, attack. That is, why am I forgetting the word? Flat attack. Yeah, that's what that would be. But you are looking for a lot of crit damage. You're looking for elemental damage. The one that matches your character, obviously. Something really stupid that can happen is this artifact set that I have on Ayaka here right now. Blizzard Strayer. There's like set bonuses for artifacts, and this is really only useful for cryo characters, but you can roll these artifacts, only the goblet has like elemental damage bonus, but you could roll this with pyro damage bonus, you could roll this with geo damage bonus, which is like, I don't know. I feel like if they removed that, that would be good. A little bit less luck involved, maybe a little bit more fair. And it would make it more likely for you to roll other good things, like crit rate and crit damage and stuff like that you want. Instead of getting uh, a pyro damage goblet on Blizzard Share set. So, yeah. That's that. Other things you can level up, your talents. Mine are very low level, again. Not spent the necessary time to make my characters good yet. Working on it. Yeah, you collect materials around the world. These you do domains to get those, just like you do for the artifacts. You also got your weapons, to upgrade these. Get stuff from domains, you get stuff from killing enemies. Yeah. That's how you do that. You also could have these, I mean, I'll talk about this later. I don't need to talk about this right now. Yeah, um, I got I got some characters. I got a good amount of characters. Um, yeah. So basically, what the domains are
A blade
is
embrace.
okay. Okay, I don't want you to talk right now. I'm trying to talk. The domains, you just go in and kill a bunch of enemies. That's really all they are. I don't need to run one right now because, like, you can probably imagine what it is. It's just you go in and kill a bunch of enemies. Not too interesting. Um, but, you know, it's a good test if your characters are good, if your build is good. So that's good, I guess. Yeah, but I don't really find, doing domains to be that fun, but it's also very necessary if you want your team to ever be good at all. So let's see, what else do we have? Bosses. You kill bosses for things to ascend your characters. Ayaka here uses these perpetual hearts struck by the perpetual mechanical array boss and Inazuma. Um, but each boss drops a different character ascension material, and different characters require different materials, so yeah, a lot of different bosses you can kill. Can I grab this crystal flag? Yeah. Um, yeah, so yeah, normally when you think of a boss fight in a story-driven game, you're thinking of something, ooh, you're working up to that. That's a big deal. Um, boss fights in this game are this is where I start to get into a bit of a complaint that I have with this game. The boss fights in this game, even the ones that are in the story, feel very anticlimactic. The reason why, you got this mechanic called world level, and basically what it does is it upgrades the level of all the enemies you fight, including bosses. So if you find something in the story too hard, just go ahead and click the lower world level button, and everything will just be easier now. Which, thinking about it, like, I don't know, like, although I do feel like it makes the boss fights a little bit more anticlimactic, at the same time, in a game like this, where you could just grind yourself to be an absurdly high level, you can't really make it so that there's, like, a fair level of challenge for everybody. So, I mean, that's fine. It is what it is. It's just, it kind of comes with how this game is. But, like, it is kind of, I don't know, it feels kind of cheaty to be able to turn your world level down, and when you go into, like, the big final boss at the end of the Sumeru Archon quest, this is the one that I'm thinking of, and you kill it in one hit. That doesn't feel very rewarding. You just did this big story, you loved this story. You want to have this big boss fight at the end, but make it memorable end. It's just not like that. It's a little bit of a shame, but, you know, it's fine. Um, that's kind of a very minor gripe about the game that I have that I spent way too long talking about. Um, but yeah, so, yeah, do domains, kill bosses, and kill random enemies that you find around the world. You might also have to do things like pick a bunch of flowers or something like that to get the things to level up your characters, level up their weapons, all that stuff. A lot of grinding. A lot of grinding that I've neglected doing because I don't really find it fun. Um, and I would rather just do the story, but now that I've finished the main story, not really any excuse for me to stop or, like, ignore all the grinding that I should be doing. So yeah, I'll get on that sometime, and you may not think it, based on any preconceived notions you might have about this game, but this game has a pretty big, like, YouTube scene of people who are actually good at it. Like, you can be very good at Genshin Impact, even though so much of it is just based on, oh, like so much of casual play is just like, oh, you level up your characters, then you're strong enough to deal with this thing. But like I've watched a decent amount of competitive or I mean it's not really competitive because it's still like a single player game. But people who are like actually good at this game. And you can be very good at this game. So that's kind of an interesting thing, I think. One YouTuber that I would highly recommend from that area of this game's community is Soluna. Maybe I'll link his channel in the description if I remember to do that. It's the same as in every other game, where the smaller YouTubers are the better ones and the more entertaining ones. It's the same deal in, like, rhythm game communities that I'm used to and stuff like that, so... I wish it was that the better YouTubers got the most traction, but that is not the case. No, it's also why I only have 292 subscribers. No, it's because I'm too good for YouTube. What can I say? What else? So, yeah, that's kind of like the grind. That's kind of the gameplay loop. Like, I don't, like, hate the grinding. I just rather do the quests and the story and stuff. You also get, like, these limited time events. Right now we have, this Arataki Blazing Armor Beetle Battle Boot Camp. And these, limited time events are important for a couple reasons. One, they add new gameplay elements. Like, a lot of these events involve, like, mini games that are exclusive to that event, and you're not going to be able to play it after the event. So you can experience something new through these events, and that's pretty fun. They're also more important to the people who are addicted to gambling. They are the most consistent way to get primo gems, which is what you use for the gacha system. If you have not, if you have, like, there are people in this game who have completed, like, every single quest and have done everything the game has to offer, and they still want to, like, get primo gems. And also, like, even for people who haven't done that, it's the most consistent way to get a whole bunch of primo gems really quick. So that's good. You can get other rewards. You can see there's other rewards. These are, like, weapon ascension materials, I think. This is what you use to level up weapons. And got more. This is just money. This is what you use to level up characters. So yeah. I don't know. Why don't we do one of these so that I can show what an event looks like, because these come and go really quick. Like, you're looking at a new event like every week or two. And I think it's kind of crazy how much new content this game gets all the time, and I get that this game is, like, makes billions of dollars, and, like, if they didn't do that, it would be kind of ridiculous, but let's play against this person.
Another kid?
Well, yeah, but
Okay, so this is Paimon, and I hate her.
last time was actually pretty good, so age is
her voice is so annoying, and every time she talks, it's like watching Impractical Jokers with the secondhand embarrassment. And I love Impractical Jokers, but I don't really want to have this floating thing next to me be doing that all the time. I wish Paimon was not in the game. That would make it a better game.
Although, I don't
I'll just skip through this dialogue because, like, who cares?
Oh, okay. Let's send out Scott.
You make still, Paimon's prop. Don't be nervous.
Okay, we go. So, for this one, we got beetles and they fight. Oof. Big thing. How do you dodge that? I have no idea. Stop! Okay, I see. There's, like, circle. There's, like, I suck at this. Why am I so bad at this? I need to look at the circle. I need to block. I need to actually be good at this. Okay, apparently that blocking did not work. Finally, I actually did damage. Okay, I won. That was kind of bad. But, yeah, so this is just an example of one of these, events. Probably more,
How'd you get so freaking...
more
So
dialogue.
do you have time to play some more? Looks like Buttercup of Hey Bullchucker. If you had this.
Okay, so, yeah, these events can range from a lot of different things. Some of them are like puzzles, but unfortunately the puzzles are so easy, I think a monkey could beat them, and like they're honestly kind of fun usually, but like they're just so fucking easy that they just aren't fun anymore because like even like there's like different tiers of rewards you can get by doing better in these things, and even getting like the maximum tier is still incredibly easy, and it's kind of a shame. Um, because I think that these things could have a high skill ceiling, be pretty fun. But at the same time, you know, if you're just in it for the primo gems, pretty quick to get them. They can also be combat events, which aren't very fun for me because none of my characters are built. And I feel like a lot of the combat events are very samey. It's just like, you just fight a bunch of waves of monsters, and you got like a special ability that's like unique to that event. I don't know. It's fine. I don't want to fight slimes right now. I'm not about that right now. There's a lot of other little mechanics. You know, you have reputation in each of the cities that you level that up by doing quests, and you get special rewards. And then there's a whole other section of like exploration related mechanics. This game is huge on exploration. There are literally thousands of chests scattered across the world. There's these things called oculi, that there's dozens of them in every region, and they're just like hidden throughout the world. And again, you just get special rewards from finding them and collecting them. It's pretty fun. It's like a collectathon kind of deal, which I like that. I feel like it's fun to see, to level up your statue to 7, which is where you submit your oculi. Um, yeah. There's also a lot of puzzles in the open world that you can do. I'm not very good at puzzles, so I haven't done a lot of the puzzles. Yeah, but your exploration is tracked, as I've pointed out before, with like this little exploration progress meter, and you can only get it to 100% if you find all the oculi and all the chests and finish all the puzzles and everything. So that's a pretty fun thing to do. I have not 100% any region. I'm very close on this one, I guess. Not really something I'm looking to do right, but it's cool that you can. Let's see, what else have we got? This is where the competitive people play. The Spiral Abyss is this, I think, bi-monthly challenge, that I have not even unlocked yet.
Come with me.
Take a look at it. So, you basically just have to fight a bunch of... I mean, if you played a game with a tower, and there's floors, and chambers, and all that, and you ascend through the floors and the chambers, and eventually, once you get through these main like first 8 floors, which never change, I have not done because I'm waiting until I get a few like really good fully built teams, and then I'm just gonna blow through all these. Then you unlock this thing called like the Abyssal Moon Spire or whatever, and there's 4 more extra floors that rotate, I think twice a month, and they are very, very hard. They have enemies that are higher level than anything you can find in the open world. And this is like the big challenge that like all of the big competitive people on YouTube and whatever try to do. But you know, for them the Abyssal Moonspire is too easy if you get to use whatever character you want, because you can just play in the meta and easily win every time. So what they do is like weird little challenge things. They start new accounts and put like limitations on their account. Like I've seen one that was like only, or I've seen some that were like only certain types of weapons, like only characters that use like pole arms or whatever. Which is pretty interesting. Not something that I'd be able to do because again, I'm not good at this game. Not really planning to be good at this game because again, I'm mostly playing this game for the music and the story and the exploration, all that stuff. Not too interested in becoming competitive good at it, but I would at least like to beat the Spiral Abyss one day. So it's cool that they have a challenge like that for people who are good at the game, and they're doing something for the more competitive space. So yeah, that kind of talks about all the gameplay elements I can think of. I mean, there's a lot of little things, but I don't feel like they're as important to bring up in a video like this. So, probably for the last part of this video, gonna talk about probably the most controversial thing, which is the characters. So, let's take a look at the character archive here. I made like a tier list of all the characters in this game, how much I like them based on how they are in the story. Again, maybe I'll link that in the description if I remember. But we got a lot of characters. There are a lot of them. And some of them are really good, and I like them a lot. Some of them are really bad, and I don't like them at all. So you start out just with these three characters: Amber, Kaya, and Lisa. Lisa is one of the worst characters in the game. She has like this stupid ass mommy personality. I hate her. Kaya, I don't like that much either. Amber, I don't like that much either. Amber's probably the best one out of them. You can unlock some other ones for free. You got Xiangling from clearing a certain floor in the Spiral Abyss. You got Barbara from, I think it's like an adventure rank reward. Um, you also, where is Kale? You unlock Kale from clearing a Spiral Abyss floor too. Yeah, so, let's see. Probably won't talk about most of these characters. I'll talk about some that I have particularly strong feelings about. My favorite character in the game, 9 days, 9 days until she's in the gacha. Yeah, this is my favorite character in the game. I relate to her on a spiritual level. I've never felt this way about a character in the game. She's literally me. Um, and I'm going to get her in 9 days. She's also one of the strongest characters in the game, if not the single strongest. That's cool. Tonori is funny. Maybe he'll do his ear. Yeah, he's doing his ears. He's doing his ears. Look how goofy. Look how silly he is. He's so silly. Okay. Yeah, it's Sino. He's pretty cool. He does that. Look at that. That's sick. I like Ayaka, even though she has some really stupid voice lines.
A blade embraces its
I like
duty.
her.
As a
Yonfei is fun. She's a lawyer. She's Jimmy McGill. What else do I like? I like Xiangling, mostly just because she's silly. Yeah, honestly, I really don't like most of the characters. I like Lenny. He's cool. Sister Lynette, they're cool. Violeta's also cool. I like Milu. I like Kalewana. So yeah, there's a good amount of characters that I like. But at the same time, she's fun.
These bombs, so heavy.
For every character that I like, another one, Noelle. Noelle's, I like Noelle. For every character that I like, probably two that I don't like. So, official, she's fucking annoying. But she's also very strong, so I have her on my team all the time. Xingqiu is also very annoying, and again, very strong, so I have him on my team all the time. I don't like Mona. Um, I got her. I didn't really want to, though. I got her from the standard banner. This is the worst character in any video game ever. Probably in any media ever. I probably don't really have to explain why she's so awful. You can just kind of look at how she looks and realize that she is terrible. She also says things like perfect, like, you know, like how a cat purrs. She like, you know, it's a pun. You know, it's really funny, except that it isn't. She needs to shut up. I don't like her because she's like a conservative. She's like a big right-winger. Everyone else likes her. I don't, though. Kokomi, I like her design, but, I, I don't... Her story quest was terrible, and I can't get over that. Yai Miko is annoying to me. Everyone else, again, everyone else likes Yai Miko, but I don't. And again, Hu Tao, even if you haven't played this game, you probably heard of Hu Tao. I don't like Hu Tao that much either. My only experience with Hu Tao was this horrible event,
Toodaloo.
so I might be biased. Whatever. Um, uh, Farina. Um, Very interesting character, but this brings up an interesting point. I think that her character in the story was horrible up until the last 30 minutes where it became incredibly good. And can a story really redeem itself for being terrible for 15 hours and then in the last 30 minutes just come back and be really good? Is that is that allowed or is it too late? Is it too late at that point? In my opinion, I think it's a little too late at that point. He's annoying. He's a femboy, I don't like that. I don't like him very much. I have no opinion on him, whatever. I could talk about these characters more, but maybe I'll remember to link my tier list in the description, and then you can take a look at how I feel about all of these. Yeah, there's a lot of characters, and some of them I like a lot, especially Nahida. See my profile picture on YouTube right now is Nahida. And I guess from there, last thing I'll probably talk about is all the monetization mechanics. So we got the battle pass. Every game's gotta have a fucking battle pass. I never bought the battle pass. And of course you got the gotcha. And here you spend a bunch of money and then you get characters. The way that it works, you have to pull 180 times to be guaranteed to get the featured 5-star characters. 180. But there are a few things that make it a little bit more forgiving. One of those being that at every 90 you have a 50-50 chance to get that character, and if you lose a 50-50 you're guaranteed to win your next one even if the banner switches, which is, I think, good. And also, there's a soft pity mechanic that isn't talked about, where at 75 you are almost guaranteed to get the character or a 5-star character. So, that's pretty good, I guess. The weapon banner sucks. Don't use that. I could ramble about how the weapon banners mechanics are really stupid, but I won't. Because that's gonna get very boring. The problem, I think the biggest problem, and a lot of the people in the more competitive, nitpicky space have already bitched about this enough, but getting the 4-star characters is quite difficult because there is absolutely no guarantee that you'll ever get them. You get a 4-star character or weapon every, I think, 10. You're guaranteed to get one every 10 pulls, but it chooses from this massive list, which I might be able to see it here. So yeah, here we go. 4-star items. There's a few featured ones. You can see the ones that have the up next to them. They're featured, and you're way more likely to get them. But there are all these other ones you could get, and if you want one of these 3 specific ones, you are very unlikely to get the amount that you want, and it always seems like it works against you and gives you the ones that you don't want. Because of course it does. Thank you, Genshin.
Blade embraces its duty. As a jeweler,
And the problem with that is you might think, oh well, once you unlock the character, at least you only really need to get one, right? Oh no. These things called constellations where you need to, if you get the character a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, then you unlock like special abilities, and some of them are very, very strong. My favorite example being Hu Tao's 6th constellation, which literally like gives her like a free extra life where she gets like 100% crit rate for some amount of time. It's fucking broken, but like, yeah, if you want constellations on these 4-star characters, you are gonna have to get lucky. Um, which is annoying. There's no guarantee. You've also got the shop somewhere, if I can find it. I've bought this a few times, but before you flame me for spending money on Genshin Impact, it wasn't real money. It was money I got for free doing Google Play surveys, so, it's okay. I may be supporting a greedy corporation, but they made a great game, so, I have to with my fake money. I have to. But you can buy characters here, but there's only some characters that actually come through on this. I think there's a list of maybe like a little over a dozen characters that are there. So if the character you're looking to get constellations for is not one of the 4-stars that runs on this, then you are shit out of luck. It costs 160 Primo Gems for 1 wish. Never buy these. This is a terrible value. And yeah, that's I would say overall that this game is pretty fair for free to play players. Like you can make a lot of progress. As those competitive YouTubers show. You can make a lot of progress in this game without spending a dime. And yeah, I mean most of the challenge runs that those YouTubers do, they do free to play. But if you're into spending $1 million on a game, you can do that too. I mean, this game makes billions of dollars. Someone's spending it. Yeah, I would recommend. I mean, the way I've been doing it is just buying these Blessing of the Welkin Moon, which is like 3,000 Primo Gems for $5, which is very good value compared to everything else. You can also buy the Battle Pass. That gives you more like materials for leveling up your characters and weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, pretty fair, and I've heard, compared to other gacha games, that it's pretty fair to free-to-play players. But, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be something inherently not great about having your monetization being a gacha system. It is literally gambling. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I also couldn't imagine this game being any other way, so, that's fine. It's not like me to support the corporate greed, but I'm gonna do it here. I really don't mind the gacha system. Yeah, from that, I... What did I finish my commissions for? Yeah, from that, I am honestly not sure if I have anything else that I can think to, put in this video, and I have rambled about this game for something like an hour and a half now. Yeah, just went over an hour and a half, so I think that's probably a good stopping place for today, but, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you haven't played this game, I would highly recommend it. It is free. It was fun. Um, you can play it on your phone if you feel like doing that. If you don't have a computer. Story is very good. Story made me cry a few times. I can't even lie. Like fully. Like got me very, very close to fully crying. Especially in Sumeru. Especially when Nahito was involved. The environments are beautiful. The characters are good sometimes. And the gameplay loop is, like, fun if you're feeling like doing some grindy RPG type stuff. So yeah, you know, I'm kinda a little bit following the format of my old game reviews that I used to post on this channel back like 5 years ago, if any of you remember my Fortnite review, or my one-shot review. But obviously this is a whole different format. I'm here without a script. I'm not going to edit this video at all because I feel like I talked fluidly enough that I don't really need to edit anything up. And like I said, I will probably put some timestamps in the description, if not immediately, then after a little while, to show you where to go. But yeah, if I had to give this game a score, like I did on my other game review videos, probably say like a 9.5. 9.5. It's not perfect. There's some shitty characters. There's some unfun gameplay mechanics. One which I forgot to mention, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Huge gripe I have with the story in this game is, if you are doing a quest and you have another quest active that is using the same characters or location as that quest, you will have to interrupt the quest you're already playing and do a tiny bit of that other quest, which completely interrupts the pacing of both quests. So, not ideal. But yeah, there are some kind of anti-fun gameplay mechanics here and there. But overall, this game is incredibly beautiful. Greatest soundtrack I've ever heard. Game has made me cry on a few occasions. I don't know what more I could ask for in a game. And I genuinely don't think I've ever been so obsessed with a game over a short period of time like this one. Kind of incredible. And also a little bit sad. But, you know, I'm doing other things with my life too, so it's alright. Yeah, but I think that will probably do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And, you know, if you haven't played the game, I hope you learned something about it. If you have played the game, I hope some of my opinions were somewhat valuable in some way. They probably weren't, but that's alright. And yeah, me and Ayaka here, signing off for this video. Thank you for watching.